You don't need a massive following to land high ticket clients. In fact, everything you've heard about needing thousands of followers is completely wrong. I've built a six-figure business on LinkedIn without any following, without any ads, without any hype, just by using a simple strategy that absolutely anyone can follow. In this video, I'm going to show you how I consistently book meetings with high ticket clients and close them without having a big audience. So if you want to start chasing deals instead of chasing likes, then stick around, keep watching this video, because I'm going to reveal exactly how I do it.
All right, guys, we've got a building going up right next door. So despite all the drilling and all the banging this morning, we're still going to get this video out there because some of you need it. Now, this is how I'm landing high ticket clients on LinkedIn and how you can do the same. It all comes down to making sure that you're choosing the right niche with high paying clients. You might have a product or service already that you're pushing in your own business or for yourself and it's just not selling. It's probably because you don't have product market fit. You're probably going for the wrong niche, and the thing that you're selling might be more accessible or more valuable to a different type of clientele. This is something I found in running my business and selling different services, products, offers. Sometimes the niche that you think is the right one is not necessarily the right one. So make sure that you figure out what that is, and you can do that from just the process of messaging people and seeing if they want your thing. And if you're doing it for a few months, you're not booking any calls, or they're probably not interested in the thing that you've got. It's just not valuable enough for them. You might need to make something else. You might need to partner with different companies. Who knows? You're going to have to figure it out from there. But choosing a niche is where this all comes down to, all right? It's the foundational concept. You want to go after the niche, they can pay you the most amount of money as well, because then it means that you can charge more for your products and services, and they can actually pay you for it. Once you've got that nailed, you then want to create content that solves problems in that niche, because people within that niche are always going to be experiencing problems. There's always pain points. How can you solve those problems or those pain points? And you can do it by just giving out information. It could be as easy as just educating them. It might mean that you have to sell them your product or service, but ideally, before they buy your product or service, there's certain pain points or problems that they experience right up until buying that thing. So if you can solve those problems and those pain points up until when they need to buy your thing, then you're going to be able to create trust of them. You're going to be able to build trust of them over a period of time, so that when they do get to that point where it's like, hey, I can't keep watching YouTube videos to solve this problem, I need to work with you, or I need to buy your thing, then you've already created enough trust with them. It's an absolute no-brainer. So you want to create content that solves problems. But that's not all. You also want to do it because it shows that you're an authority and that you know what you're talking about, because there's going to be heaps of people that are probably selling a solution to the same problems that you're trying to solve for. And so how do your customers, or your ideal customers, or your potential customers, how do they identify whether they buy from you or from someone else? It's from your content. They're going to be doing research, so you have to create enough of it. I'd always recommend YouTube. I'll talk about that in a second, but create content on the platforms where these people are. If it's Instagram and you're networking with people on Instagram, you're connecting people there, do it on Instagram. If it's LinkedIn, do it on LinkedIn. If it's everywhere, well, start with one and then slowly grow into the other ones, okay? You don't want to do too much because you're going to just spread yourself way too thin. So what you're going to want to do, right, is just pick one platform and then go from there. Position yourself as an expert by posting regularly. You don't have to post every single day, but if you can stick to a goal or a plan by posting each day, then that's going to be perfect, right? Because you're creating content, people are seeing you show up all the time, it's consistent, and it gives more opportunities for you to present your offer to your audience. As you're connecting with more people and you build more followers, or you get more connections or more subscribers, every now and then you can just present a new offer. It just allows you to create new opportunities to sell to those people. This is the way that I've been landing my own high ticket clients. Okay. I've been creating the content on LinkedIn. I've been creating content on YouTube. You stick it on YouTube, it's a much longer form of content. You can also upload exactly the same video to LinkedIn, although it doesn't perform as well as, the short form videos that you've got. Right now, the biggest opportunity right now is LinkedIn video. Okay. It's just come out maybe in the last couple of months. I've only got access to it properly for myself in maybe like the last 3 or 4 weeks. So it's really new. You've got to be jumping on LinkedIn video if you're on LinkedIn, if your clientele is on LinkedIn. It's going to set you apart from everyone else. This is literally like the opportunity that you missed out on when TikTok came out, and all these people are just mega rich now from dancing like idiots on TikTok. But, fair play to them because they're rich. They got a heap of money. They got a big brand just from dancing. That is the opportunity that you missed out on. So jump on LinkedIn now, start using LinkedIn video, because it's going to be the defining factor that will separate you on that platform over the next few months. And then there's YouTube. Of course, YouTube is quite competitive, but it's not as competitive as people think. A lot of people give up on YouTube. A lot of people are not consistent with it. A lot of people's channels and videos suck. So if you can define your personality and just be yourself, be authentic, because you're just being yourself, you're automatically going to be able to grow your channel because there's no one else like you. right? So start creating YouTube videos. If you're trying to sell stuff, the YouTube video should ideally be educational. That's the way I do it, at least. I'm just creating educational videos, solving problems, identifying those pain points, helping people out, building trust. And from there, people just automatically come to me over time. Now, it doesn't happen instantly like that. This is a long-term game when it comes to creating content. But what else are you going to do? You're just going to be messaging people all the time. At some point, people are going to see your messages, probably want the thing that you've got, and then they can't do any research because you have no content. So they're not going to buy from you. They're going to buy from someone else. And they don't know if you're an authority. You could be full of shit. Who knows? So create content, LinkedIn, YouTube, combining these together, super powerful. If you've got success stories, case studies, start uploading those. It helps you build a lot more trust. It just shows that you're actually getting results. And of course, with LinkedIn, you can actually connect directly with the decision makers, right? You can use LinkedIn Sales Navigator to get some deep filtered searches. You can hunt for CEOs, chief marketing officers, business owners, whatever, right? Whoever it is that your clientele is, you're going to be able to find them on LinkedIn. And when you connect with them and they get brought into your network and you create video content or you upload your YouTube videos or even your short clips, they're going to see it and you're going to build trust with them over a long period of time. So when you message them, they're going to reply, because what you find is on LinkedIn, a lot of people aren't going to reply to your messages because they get pitched all the time. Even if you're not pitching them, they're still not going to reply because they just don't use LinkedIn DMs. Most people on LinkedIn don't even open the DMs that I send them. But if you create content, they're going to be able to see it. And so eventually they'll come to you, they'll open those DMs, and they'll recognize your name when you do DM. That's the most important thing. If they don't recognize you, they're probably not going to open it or even respond. But if they recognize you as someone who is posting content on LinkedIn and they've been watching your content, whether they like you or not, they're going to respond to you. DMing people, though, is one of the main ways that I'm landing my high ticket clients. If you just think that you can post content all the time and people are just going to come to you naturally, then you're not exactly wrong. But that's going to take a long period of time. Like, I'm talking years. Some of the biggest influencers and content creators that you probably follow, they've been doing it for a long period of time. They don't just start creating content and all of a sudden people start coming to them. You have to actually message people, especially if you're broke right now, right? If you don't have any money or your business is just starting up, start messaging people 50, 60, 100, 150 messages a day. If you can aim for 100 a day, you're going to be killing it. So target specific decision makers, high revenue companies, of course. That's what I said at the beginning. You'll go for the niches that can afford to pay for your services, high paying niche. Then send personalized messages to them that focus on their human desires and needs, not inhuman like this error here is. I can't be bothered to go and correct it, but you want to focus on people's human desires. What are human desires? It's about like the need for love, connection, respect, focusing on those kind of things. There's 16 different human desires. You can just go and Google it. Actually, you know what? I've just Googled it for you anyway. So here you go. You've got these 16 different human desires here. Acceptance, curiosity. Some of them are obviously not going to be relevant. You're not going to be messaging someone about food, but you can identify some of these, eating, family, honor, idealism, independence, order, physical activity, power. Okay, romance, saving. I wouldn't go on LinkedIn looking for romance, by the way, or messaging people about that. Be a bit smart in terms of the human desires that you're leveraging in order to create conversations with people, but you want to go after human desires to build those relationships. So an example that's worked for me is messaging people about networking events, trade shows, speaking gigs, things like that. Because when I travel to different places, I want to go and meet people at industry events and conferences and speaking gigs. I'm not going to go speak, but I want to go meet these people in those industries, right? I want to go to a healthcare industry conference or event. I want to go to a finance one, a tech one, because I'm going to be able to meet those people. If I can go to one that's with real estate agents or luxury properties or car dealerships, that's also interesting to me because I know the people going there have money typically, and they're going to be looking at those things as well. So it's a great way for me to network. So when I message people and I ask them, hey, are you going to go to any of these events in your local city? Because I'm probably going to be going there. It's an immediate connection. It's immediate rapport building. Now, yes, some people don't always reply back, and that's fine because not everyone is super social. Not everyone likes going to events. Sometimes people think that you're just messaging them because you want to sell them something, especially on LinkedIn. But more often than not, you're going to get people replying back to you, and you can start building some kind of connection with them, build rapport, have a conversation. At the end of the day, you're messaging them for a reason. If I want to meet them at an industry event, it's for a reason. I'm not just messaging everyone and anyone. So they know that. It's pretty obvious, but you don't have to sell them directly. You don't have to come in from that angle. It depends on the angle that you come in from. Okay, so follow up regularly with them if they don't reply or if they're not meeting you. It's just one of the ways that I found to work really well with the direct messages. And then as you build on those conversational threads, you can then progress the conversation towards booking a meeting, which is ultimately why you're messaging them in the first place. So if you're not going to meet them at an industry event, you're going to want to at least meet them before the event, after the event, online, right? So it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, you're messaging them because you want to get them on a call. And you can also gather intelligence from other people within the company so that you can find problems to create content on. So a lot of people get this really, really wrong, right? So listen carefully. What I've been doing is not just messaging the decision makers and trying to hunt for the decision makers in an organization. Yes, you should always start there, but sometimes these people get pitched like 50 times a day and they just don't even open their messages. They don't even really like opening their emails. They don't want to build rapport with anyone. Like, they just don't care. They're sick to death of it, and I understand. So what can you do here? Well, you can go lower down the pyramid in the organization and you can start connecting with people in their team. So as an example, if you're going to go for the sales director, that's a solution that you sell to the sales director. He might not be messaging you, or she. Well, you can go to the other salespeople in that team and you can message them, connect with them, and find out like what tools are they using if you're selling a software, right? Or, what industry events do they typically go to? Who do they typically sell to? Are they hitting their quotas? Things like that. You can just have a normal, regular conversation. And if possible, try and meet those people on a call to have that conversation. You can build intelligence, build data around that organization. So it gives you leverage and gateways into the organization. Then that way you can speak to the decision maker, the sales director in this case, and you can bring up the pain points that you already know that they have based on speaking to the team, and then you can present your solution to them as to solve the problem, right? And then they're going to jump on a call with you. Track messages, use a CRM, use a spreadsheet, track the response rate, see what messages work, use some messaging templates, but always try and personalize and track that sales pipeline. Which people show interest, which people show no interest, where do you get rejected, which companies have you mapped out already, where are your ins, figure out where your ins are coming from most regularly, depending on who you're going after, and then build strategies around that. Direct messaging is the number one way that you're going to be able to land meetings. Content comes second. Always make sure that you're messaging people. If you only make content and you don't message anyone, you're going to find it's far more difficult than it has to be. Now, you're probably thinking like, Jordan, I don't want to be messaging someone all day long. 100 messages a day, 150 a day, that sounds outrageous. Like, it's just so much time and effort. Well, yeah, it is. But once you have been doing that for a while and you've got a process in place, you can then train a virtual assistant, which is exactly what I did. I did this for ages in my own career, right? I had to do this for my boss with my own accounts, of course, because I was a business development manager. But I was messaging people on LinkedIn. I was posting videos about the events that we were going to, and that's how we were landing deals. That's how I was networking with people effectively. They'd see my content, they'd see my messages, and they want to meet me at these events because they've already seen me. Now, this was before COVID, and it was before there was all these people online trying to make money on LinkedIn and all these other social media platforms. So it was much easier for me at the time. It's far more competitive now, but the same principles apply. You still got to create content. You still got to DM people. And then once you've got that process in place of DMing, you can actually just outsource that to someone from the Philippines, pay them a few dollars an hour, which is great money for them, and they'll do it for you. And then over time, as they start bringing new deals, you can pay them more money. So it's a win-win for everyone. So teach your VA how to send personalized DMs. I've got training. You can check it out. Link in the description below. There's a free course. You can send them into that, buy it for them if you want, and then you can train them on that. But if you've already got a process, train them on your own process. That's perfectly fine. You then can create scripts for your VA to use and follow-ups, because a lot of the money is going to be made on a follow-up. You need like 14, 15 touch points before anyone's even going to speak to you, right? Before they even jump on a meeting with you, right? A lot of the time, these SDRs and software companies and these big industries, 15, 20, 25 touch points. They're messaging people, sending emails, cold calling, leaving voice messages, WhatsApp. You can do all those things as well, or you can just outsource it to a VA. And you can give them the script, you can help them with the process, and that way you can just focus on creating content or only speaking to the high value potential deals, or going to the industry events whilst your VA is at home sending people on behalf of you on LinkedIn and Instagram or whatever it's on. But LinkedIn's going to be the main one. When I say use Instagram or Facebook, that's just using a different channel. So if you can't get hold of someone on LinkedIn and you can't get hold of them on email, those are two different channels. Maybe you want to go on Instagram, maybe you want to go on WhatsApp, maybe you want to go on Facebook. Okay, it's just touch points. Obviously, use a CRM. HubSpot gives you 1,000 leads that you can track, or 1,000 contacts that you can track in the HubSpot CRM. Start there if you don't have one, but you can also use Google Sheets. I use both. I actually use ConvertKit as my email marketing software. I use HubSpot as part of our big deal tracking, and then I've just got a big Google spreadsheet that my team uses, and we just put all our deals in there, all the contacts we're speaking to, all the conversations go in there, so that we can track the conversations from start to finish. How many times have we followed up? Where have we followed up on? What channels have we used? What are the notes from the account? And then we can build out the organization. So I can go and find, okay, this is a CEO of XYZ organization. That's a sales director. That's a chief marketing officer. That's a salesperson in their team. That's a marketing person in their team. And I can build out that account, and then I can just look at it from the ground up, or like high level view, right? And then I can see, oh, these people are reactive to my messages. These are not. This is the way in. This is not. And it's just like, it makes it way easier for me to look at it that way. I don't know if other CRMs allow you to look at it in that view, but I like combining spreadsheets with CRMs. And then I'll set clear tasks for my VA to follow up with people. So for example, because we're putting all this information into the spreadsheet, I can see the last time I messaged someone or my VA messaged someone. And if we haven't spoken to them for XYZ amount of time, typically like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, there's another follow-up that goes out so that we can stay on them. And if they totally reject us, we put them into the spreadsheet so that we know not to piss them off. Of course, you don't want to keep messaging someone that's told you not to. But you can track it, because a lot of the time people get busy. You send messages, and maybe you're like, why am I not booking calls? Well, it's probably because you're not like following up enough. Okay, so put it into the spreadsheet, and you can identify it. You can even create like conditional formatting in Google Spreadsheets, so that you can put the date where you last followed up, and then as it gets further away, like a week has gone by, 2 weeks has gone by, 3 weeks, it becomes like a different color. So when it becomes red, you're like, oh wow, it's been a month before we followed up with this person, we're going to go back. And so you can see from like 30,000 foot view into the spreadsheet, what you need to do next. Okay, and then just review the progress of doing that daily with your VA. This doesn't happen overnight, by the way. This takes a lot of time. I've trained countless VAs to do this, but I had to get my process in shape first. It had to work for me first. And even when I'm working with the VA, I don't just leave them to it. I'm training them constantly. I'm coming up with new angles constantly. I'm messaging people alongside them, right? They shadow me constantly. This is something that you can't just fully outsource until you've got it 100% right, okay? Once your VA is really good, you'll know, because they'll start bringing ideas to you, and they'll start giving you angles for you to enter organizations, and they'll just kind of start doing it themselves naturally, because you've just been on their case the whole time. And then that's when you've got a good VA, and you can kind of step back a little bit. Maybe you can get them to start training someone else just in case they leave in the future, because you never really know, right? So there's all these things that you've got to think about. This is what I do. I train VAs, they train each other, they shadow me. I'm always looking at different angles in different messages, and this is really how I'm able to save myself a heap of time and focus on the bigger, higher leverage thing, which is creating video content. And so I'm creating video content as lead magnets, which is just posted organically on LinkedIn, but I can also use it as lead magnets that I can get people to opt in for. Usually this is free training. So if you click the link in the description below this video, there's a free training. You get access to a free course, right? And that's a video course very similar to this video. And that course solves a big problem, which if you're experiencing that problem, you would opt in for it and you get access to that free course. So you need to be doing that for your niche, depending on the solution or the product or service that you're selling to that niche, and just create content around solving that problem. You use the training to collect emails. In my case, I use training. It doesn't have to be training. It could be an ebook, it could be a webinar, it could be a series of different things. It could be everything, right? But you want to create lead magnets to build your email list. People opt into your email list, and then you're just going to be sending them emails automatically. You can create sequences. I use ConvertKit. I create an email sequence that way. So when someone opts into any of my lead magnets, they go into a designated sequence specifically for that lead magnet. And then they send other emails in that sequence, which will invite them to go and check out other pieces of content or other lead magnets. And so it's a self-fulfilling system which works in the back end. So when they're getting messages from me or my VA over 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months, if they've opted into anything, they're also getting emails from me, which are personalized to them. And hopefully they're seeing other pieces of content. So it's warming them up to the idea of using my solution as, the answer to all of their problems. And then just send traffic to your YouTube videos. That's another thing that I've been doing. So I create YouTube videos, and in my emails, I'm like, hey, you should watch this video on XYZ. They click it, they go to one of my YouTube videos. That's a really good way for you to boost your view count, get shares, things like that. You can post your YouTube videos directly onto LinkedIn as well. It's a good way to just put it out there. You may as well, if it's on YouTube, you may as well just stick it on LinkedIn as well. It doesn't do so well the longer form videos, but at least people get to see it, and you can send people to those YouTube videos also in the comments. That's what I've been doing. So if I create a post about something and it's like solving, a mini problem, there's usually a second problem that people are going to come up against. So I'm like, hey, if you, need to solve this problem in more detail, or you want more information, check out this YouTube video. I've done a step-by-step guide. So it's like a small snippet as a LinkedIn post. Check out the comments. They click on it. They go to YouTube. They get the full video step by step. And then they're with me for a long period of time, because those videos are like 15, 20 minutes long, right? So it's just building much more trust, authority. They get to understand, the knowledge that I have. And maybe they like me, maybe they don't, but hopefully it gives them some value. And then just follow up for feedback, offer more stuff. If they opted in for one lead magnet, right, get feedback on it. Did it actually help them out? And then try and identify throughout the buyer journey what other problems they might experience. So if they download a lead magnet on how to book meetings on LinkedIn, the second problem that they're going to have is, well, in the lead magnet, Jordon, that you gave me on how to book meetings on LinkedIn, you told me to make content. So what content do I make? So that's another lead magnet. Or they're going to say, yeah, I'm booking meetings, but I'm not closing. So how do I close them? So again, that's another lead magnet. So you want to identify the next problems that they're going to have after you solve the first one. And this is what all of your lead magnets should be. You need like 9, 10, 12, as many lead magnets as you possibly can make, really. But they can also just be YouTube videos, like longer form YouTube videos. Some people put entire courses on YouTube, and that works really well. Low ticket products. This is another one, because a lot of people think if they sell high ticket, then that's what it is that they do. It's like, yeah, I'm a high ticket seller. I have a high ticket product service, and that's what we do. I found for myself that just selling high ticket is not the best way to go about it, because you're relying on those high ticket deals a lot. Now, yeah, if you bring in a high ticket deal, of course, it's a lot of money, so it keeps you going, but they don't come in as much as you want. So sometimes it's good to have the peace of mind from a low ticket product that you can sell to generate consistent revenue, right? If you have been in a position where you don't know where your next customer is coming and your money is draining, you might know where I'm coming from here. So I have been in that position. Yes, the high ticket stuff does sell. Yes, it's sometimes, pretty easy to bring deals in. Sometimes it's not. So you want to have a nice, consistent, low ticket product that you can sell. I've got a course. I've got price guides that lead into samples that people can buy, custom samples. We can sell videos, video CEO. So I've got a few different low ticket products, but obviously I'm not pushing that. I'm pushing the high ticket thing. But some people, they don't always want the high ticket thing straight away. You have to send them into that higher ticket product or service that you're trying to offer. So you use those low ticket offers to introduce clients to the high ticket stuff. You can bundle it all together if you want, so that it solves a bunch of problems, but they have to buy the solution to those problems as a low ticket offer. And then from that, obviously it just sends them into the high ticket thing. You can do it in a variety of different ways. The way I do it is by having just free lead magnets, and those lead magnets then send people into a low ticket offer, and then a low ticket offer sends them into the high ticket offer. That's the easiest way that I can help you visualize it, kind of like a step ladder, right? Every single rung of the ladder just allows people to go up and up. They're spending more money with you as you're building more trust of them, more authority, etc. So you can also let clients try your low ticket products to build trust before the sale. So my lead magnet is a free course, link in the description below. If you go through that free course and you like it, and I give you value and you're like, yeah, this is good value, then I would invite you just to buy the entire thing and you get access to me. I think that's the best way to get people in to buy your low ticket stuff, because it's like, I'm giving you a bit of it for free. If it's not good, they're not going to buy it. So you know that you need to improve it. If you just try and get someone to buy it and it's not good, they're going to be pissed off and they're probably not going to buy anything from you again. So the way I see it is give things away for free as much as possible, get feedback on it, make changes, improve it based on that feedback, and just try and make a freaking good product, guys. Like, it is hard, but it's not hard to listen to your customers and just try and make a better product, and then just promote that to more and more people, get them to refer it. Typically, if it's good enough, they're going to refer it. We've got a school community for video CEOs. When people enter the community, one of the questions is, how did you find out about us? A lot of people say a friend told them, or just word of mouth. Heaps of them. Well, they're saying that because the community must be valuable in some way, shape, or form. So it's great feedback for me. It means that we're doing something right. That's what you want for your lead magnets, for your low ticket products, so that you can improve upon them. And then just track everything like your life depends on it. Use spreadsheets, CRMs, set reminders to follow up with prospects. You can create rules in your Google Sheets. You can create rules in your CRM to notify you. You can use Zapier and Slack together along with those spreadsheets. So if someone hasn't been messaged or emailed for 2 weeks or a month or whatever your follow-up process is, you get notifications, or your team gets notifications, and someone's on it immediately. Make sure you track the emails that you're sending out, how many of those are getting open, how many people are unsubscribing, are people clicking on the links in those emails, what links are they clicking on, what about your YouTube videos, what about the content you're posting on LinkedIn, what's the engagement like? You know, how many likes are you getting? Are you getting enough impressions? Is this content that people even like or resonate with? Are your videos getting subscribers? Are your videos getting suggested by YouTube? What can you do to improve? Track like your life depends on it. You need to have tracking sheets. See where your lead is at in the sales process. Oh my God, like the amount of times I've seen people, they don't even track anything. They bring in some meetings. The meetings don't end up in a sale, and then they just give up on the person. Well, sometimes people don't buy because it's not the right time, or there's not enough trust or authority. They just don't have enough money right now, right? So you can't just let people go because you feel like you've been rejected. Track them, track the conversations, see where you're slacking, see where the follow-ups lead to. Do you have to follow up someone 10 times, 15 times before they book a meeting with you? You're only going to know that if you track all of this. Add notes so nothing gets lost between you and your team. And of course, those high value accounts, the ones that you know are going to bring in the big deals, the big fish, those have got to be tracked. If you're not tracking anything else, that's bad enough, but at least track the high value accounts that you're going after, because those are the ones that are going to bring you the revenue that's going to allow you to just go up in this world. To track everything, Google Sheets, I use HubSpot CRM, but you can use, I used to use ActiveCampaign, that's another one. You can just use a Google spreadsheet. ConvertKit's good for email marketing, a few other ones, but yeah, I'm sure you can figure out. Now, like I said, there's a free course that you can get by clicking the link in the description below this video. Go check it out. If you like it, you can buy the whole course, get access to me, and I'll teach you all of this stuff in more and more detail in that course. But yeah, go check it out. If you've got any questions, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.